Welcome once again to Travel TV and our rolling coverage of the 2006 ABTA convention in Marbella in the south of Spain. The convention is acknowledged as one of the key events in the travel industry calendar. We'll be bringing you some of the main talking points from the debating hall. Today we continue with the big ABTA discussion, but coming up in our next broadcast we look at the green effect on the travel industry.
And we have worked with the government on our launch of our carbon neutral offsetting schemes. You know, people will become more aware and therefore will more readily offset their flights.
And in our final broadcast, we hear from some of the leading figures in the expanding cruise sector.
When you're an innovator, when you're a risk taker like I am, you take a number of risks, and some of them work and some of them don't. It's just that an orange ship is a lot more visible a mistake than some of the other mistakes I made.
But we start with the debate about the future of ABTA as the association responds to its critics. Our online video coverage is brought to you by travelmole.com in association with its broadcast partner utravel.com. Fast and reliable resort services for leisure travellers in the Mediterranean and other major destinations worldwide.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Skidmore and welcome to our extended coverage of the ABTA convention here on TV. Now yesterday we heard some pretty strong criticisms of the association, and today we're going to let ABTA have their say, and we're also going to hear what industry leaders have got to say about how agents can safeguard their future.
You can find our opening broadcast featuring David Speakman and Paul Evans archived on the Travel Mole website. They joined other UK travel agents in criticising ABTA on a number of fronts.
We can understand, obviously, that at times it might seem that we are not looking after, let's say, some of our smaller members. But to us, every single ABTA member, be it a proprietor with a high street shop or TUI, we regard you all in the same way.
With me is Mark Tanzer, the Chief Executive of ABTA. Now, ABTA had some strong critics this morning. They're accused of being incompetent, wasting travel agents' money. What's your response to that, Mark?
Well, I don't accept that criticism. Insofar as people were saying we have to constantly justify the value we create for all of our members, including the travel agents, absolutely accept that, and that we've got to continue to strive to be more efficient. But I think the services and products that we offer all of our members are very valuable, and they're valued by the vast majority of our members.
Now, David Speakman highlighted the fact that £11 million had been paid out to cover fraud over the past 7 years, and he felt that the directors ought to carry the can for allowing that position to continue. What's your answer to that?
Well, I don't want to confirm David's numbers or where he got them from, but there has been a significant problem over years with people who take money fraudulently. We put a lot of effort into keeping it down to an absolute minimum, but you cannot, with an industry our size, eliminate it altogether. If you look at that as a percentage of total turnover, it is minuscule, but it's not being complacent. We have to continue to be very vigilant about it. And I'm very proud, actually, of the effort that the team do to keep that at the lowest possible level.
Okay, now you have actually removed the guarantee that if consumers lose money to a fraudulent agent, they would get that money back. Is there not a danger that you've taken away your unique selling point there?
Well, what we said is that the consumers and the members have an equal obligation to make sure that a booking is made. And the reality is that we could not just simply stand behind any fraudulent transactions. And in a way, what we were doing was perpetuating the likelihood of it, because by being seen as a victimless crime, the police were less likely to intervene and so forth. So you could say that what we've done is actually help the consumers in that respect. But there's no doubt, I mean, people would like to have a cast iron guarantee that everything was protected. Who wouldn't? But we just feel that the state of the industry, we couldn't continue to provide that.
Okay, now you are called the Association of British Travel Agents, but of course you represent much more than just travel agents. Is it time for a name change or a rethink about that?
Well, we're very happy with the ABTA brand. It's been around for many years. It's got very high consumer recognition, and it's respected in government and Whitehall. So I think it would be very unlikely that we would change the ABTA brand. What the actual letters stand for, we will look at as we go forward. ABTA has been a very broad church. It's had agents and operators for very many years, and that's one of our strengths.
People say as well that perhaps you should join forces with bodies like the Federation of Tour Operators and the Institute of Travel and Tourism, because looking from the outside, it's a very disparate industry. What's your response to that?
Yeah, I've got a lot of sympathy with that point of view. We work very closely with them on key issues, and we often share very similar points of view, but I think our lobbying power and our voice to the consumers is weakened by the fact there are so many of us. So I will be looking with them as to how we can strengthen that one voice.
Okay, you've also been accused of being overstaffed, having jobs for the boys there at Newman Street. Do you not feel that cuts should be made at headquarters?
No, well, Newman Street is open to any member who wants to come and see what we do, and they can ask me about the resources we've got against any activities. We speak a lot to our members about the activities they value and the services, and you have to have people to provide those. As I said, we're always looking for efficiencies. I don't think we're overmanned, but it's under constant review.
Okay, now on the issue of financial protection, you came up with or supported a plan for a £1 levy, which seems very sensible. The problem is that the government has rejected it, and we saw Richard Jackson there from the Civil Aviation Authority actually saying you're in cloud cuckoo land to keep banging on about this to the government. Isn't it time you tried a different tack?
Well, I disagree with Richard Jackson. I respect his view, but I think the issue is still out there. The arguments we made last year are still very relevant, and things change. The recent example that was mentioned in the session about Fairpack, very different industry, Christmas hampers, but it brought home to government that when consumers lose prepayments, it matters to MPs and their constituents. And I saw that this morning there's a Treasury Select Committee that has called for very immediate action across the board on protecting prepayments for consumers, and travel industry will be part of that. So I don't think that door is bolted forever, and I think it's our responsibility to the industry and consumers to keep those arguments going. We're also doing it at a European level, and of course if we're successful there, that will bring additional pressure to bear on the government to look at the arguments again.
Okay, now one of the key things you said about ABTA was the holding of a convention each year, an important meeting place. How do you feel the convention's going so far?
I think it's going excellently. I think we've had a very good morning. We've had very open debate. We've had people on stage who disagree with ABTA, and I think that's healthy to be able to have different voices. And we've had some excellent presentations and good speakers, so I think we're off to a good start. What I hope is that over the next couple of days we can not only air the issues, but we can start to put together plans to move them forward. I think today was a good example of how many different views there are and how strongly people feel about it, but we need to move to the next stage now.
Mark Tanzer, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
So how did you think the sessions went this morning, the debates that we saw?
Well, it was certainly a very lively and controversial session. I mean, it was very brave of ABTA, I think, to open the debate up in that way and expose themselves to the criticisms that they received. But, I think a number of good points emerged during the session, and hopefully there will be some positive outcomes as a way forward.
Do you think that they should take more of a lobbying role in the industry, as they talked about this morning?
Well, I've always felt that ABTA should be there leading the lobbying of the industry, and most of our major successes, if you look back historically, have been achieved where we've been able to form alliances with other trade associations and other bodies with the same interests and speak with one voice. Whether it was the Freedom to Fly campaign or the Fair Passenger Duty campaign or the GISC or FSA regulation, I think when we've spoken together as one industry, we've usually got a very good outcome.
But it seems that although ABTA are quite keen, the other bodies aren't keen to join together. Why do you think that is?
Well, everybody's obviously very protective of their own position with their membership, and they want to be seen to be delivering value to their membership, and they want to represent the niche views of their particular members. But I think some of the issues, such as the environment, such as taxation, VAT, these kinds of things, we're really much better addressing them as an industry and having a single voice, and I always believe that ABTA's in good shape to lead that voice and to play a leading role.
You're watching an exclusive online video presentation from travelmole.com in association with its broadcast partner, utravel.com.
With me is Andrew Botterill, the Chief Executive of Global Travel Group. Now they're part of Triton, a huge association of travel agents. We're here at the ABTA convention to talk about the future of travel agents. And Andrew, you've got an innovative plan to safeguard their future. Tell us about it.
Well, we've been developing the capability for our members to be able to develop effectively their own tour operation in a safe and profitable environment.
Now, you started developing this when tour operators cut commission. Is it a plan to put the destiny back into the travel agent's hands?
Yeah, I think so. I think what we saw 12 months ago was tour operators cutting their costs, of which travel agent commission was a cost. And we've had to give agents the opportunity to stay relevant in a very competitive market.
Now, one of the key things about this system is that you can earn more money by selling Triton tour operations than other tour operations. Just tell us about the levels of commission that you're offering.
Well, it's a variable level of commission after the fixed commission of 15%. Depending on the time of the year that the product is manufactured, there's opportunity to earn in excess of that amount.
Now, margins are very tight in the travel industry. How are you able to offer those levels of commission on your tour operation?
Well, clearly we don't have the costs associated with a traditional tour operator. A lot of what we do in a virtual manner. But what we also have is a buying team that are very skilled and very capable. And we've got access to air at the right rates, so that gives us the ability to manufacture products at the right price.
Now, of course, you still do have some key suppliers. Is there a danger that some of them will be irritated and frustrated if your members are selling their tour operation ahead of the key suppliers?
Well, we have preferred suppliers and we have non-preferred suppliers. So clearly where we've got non-preferred suppliers, we will compete with them. And where we've got preferred suppliers, I think there's an understanding that the relationships that we have now have changed, and sometimes we compete and sometimes we support.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a straight choice between a preferred supplier and a Triton tour operation which is offering an identical holiday and higher commission, it seems pretty straightforward what the members are going to do, isn't it?
I would say it's a fairly straightforward argument. If you're going to earn more money, you'll do what's right for your business.
Now, we're going into a key booking period. Do you expect a high take-up of agents using the Triton tour operation?
I hope so, yes. The interest we've had has been absolutely fantastic. The sign-up has been tremendous. What we now need to do is put all of those plans into implementation, and some of the feedback that we've got initially has been absolutely tremendous, and I'm hoping for a level of support that will enable us all to go forward.
And just a word on ABTA. People are here to debate the future of ABTA. What's your view? Where should the association be going?
I think it's the question that's on everybody's lips. I think the way that I see it is that the association needs to sit down and listen to its members first and foremost, and then devise a strategy that fits their requirements. I think that's got to be the fundamental issue over the coming months.
We hope you enjoyed our coverage from the 2006 ABTA convention. In our next broadcast, we listen in to the Green debate in Marbella. This report was brought to you by TravelMole.com in association with its broadcast partner, utravel.com.